This show runs laps around all the others. So get ready as we pound the highlights at you. We may or may not save the best for last. So run, don't walk to your favorite spot. We bring you the best. That's always our goal. Hey, the #1 Cardinal fan is in the house. Contemplate this one. Sports Night is next.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sportsnight. I'm Joe Young.
I'm Joe Young as well. Howie Shapiro. I told Joe to look at the very last clip on the intro, and it made him laugh. So threw us off from the beginning.
Because when it originally happened, that was at the volleyball match on Tuesday night, and I looked at the monitor and I saw Howie petting the stash in the background. It got
made you laugh.
It got me. It got me again. And this show has me a little bit choked up. We are almost at the end of the fall season.
I can't believe it. It has gone quickly.
Yeah, we got a state tournament entrant to talk about today.
Yeah, we'll get to that later, but very, very cool.
Yeah, and just about to wrap everything up. I think all of the regular season will be done this week.
Yep. And
everyone will be into postseason action. Talk about the football team first. They wrap up the regular season with a trip to Andover on Wednesday, and that comes after a short week of practice. Cardinals desperately need to find something positive to build on going into the playoffs, especially after a somewhat humiliating loss to Champlin Park in their final home game of the year. Not to take anything away from the Rebels, but the Cardinals once again beat themselves in this one, and they'll have to avoid doing that if they hope to be more than one and done in the postseason. Fourth play of the game, the Cardinals go gimmick on first down, and it doesn't fool the Rebels at all. Tyke's going to throw left-handed. Deontay Bronson picks it off, and Champlin Park takes over at their own 39. Rebels facing third and long. Biegert finds Mulsumo in the flat. He's got plenty of room to run. Great downfield blocking will get him all the way to the end zone. A 58-yard score puts Champlin on the board just 2 minutes into the game. Cardinals forced to punt on their next possession, and I think we've seen this before. Snap up and over the head of Brandon Martin. He has to chase it down, fall on it at the Coon Rapids 10-yard line. Rebels going for the throw on the next play, but Brandon Cooper has great position and is able to make the diving catch, get the ball right back for the home team. Cards punted, Rebels scored. Cardinals with the ball again late in the first quarter. On to misfires, looking for Tyke's Alexaze, the Champlin's second pick of the game. That leads to their third score. Max Biegert on the keeper from the 3 early in the second quarter. That made it 21-0 Rebels at the half. They had a couple more scores in the second. Biegert finds Marty Hill wide open over the middle for the 27-yard score. Rebels on their way to the rout. 35-0 the final. Cardinals fall to 1-6.
You know, they got down early so quickly. And this is a team that's not built for a comeback. They're not a comeback team. They have to keep the score close, play solid defense, and try and run the ball. But turnovers, and you know, we talk about it as we're like a broken record. People probably don't want us to talk about it anymore.
Well, I've lost track at this count. Yeah. It's 13 or 14 turnovers on the season. They did obviously they had 5 takeaways against Park Center, but if you throw that game out, they're at like a -10 in the turnover battle this season in their 6 losses.
We talked about the last 2 games of the season. You know, potentially could be wins for Coon Rapids. Obviously, they weren't able to get it done against Champlin Park. Andover comes in with a 2-5 record, and this is a team that if the Cardinals play their game, they don't turn the ball over, they sustain some drives and play solid defense, they have an opportunity to win. But you know, that's just a question mark right now because they haven't been able to hold on to the football.
Yeah, they need to be able to do that. I mean, we talked about it. You know, with the turnover, without the turnovers, this team could be right in the mix. They could be 5-2, 4-3 at this point in the season. But not how it has worked out. But teams like Centennial, I think they certainly could have beaten had they not turned the ball over.
They
I think Champlin Park, I don't know, a 35-0 loss. It's hard to say things go the other way, all the way in the other direction, but it's a different game if they don't turn that ball over, especially twice in the first quarter. Anoka, I think they could have been right in that game.
Yep.
Blaine, I think they give Blaine a better run for their money if they don't have the problems they had with turnovers and failures to convert in the red zone. But if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a happy holiday.
Absolutely. Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Well, Cardinals, as you've talked about, have an opportunity on Wednesday, going to take on an Andover team that is also a little bit down this season, a chance to hopefully get some things figured out, because when they start the quarterfinals in Section 5, 6A a week from Friday, they're going to be a low seed, and they are going to face a very, very tough team.
Yeah, very, very, quite possibly either, probably Totino is who they'll probably end up facing. So that'll be tough.
It most certainly will.
Yes.
Tennis team, we talked about them last week. They had a win to get them into the quarterfinal, or into the semifinal round of the team tournament last Tuesday, or last Monday, right before we did the show. So in that semifinal game, the Cardinals beat the Blaine Bengals 6-1. You may remember they beat the Bengals 5-2 in the final match of the regular season. They beat them 6-1 in the playoffs. And everybody winning in straight sets, and most of them pretty convincingly. 6-3, 6-2 was the score, both at second and third singles. Turned that score around at fourth singles for Maddie Georgie, winning 6-2, 6-3. Westra and Ream, 6-0, 6-2. McManus and Nelson had to struggle in that first one, get a 7-6 win, but come back with a 6-1 win in the second. Lawrence and McDonald win 6-0, 6-2. Of course, that put them up against the monster known as Mounds View, and the number 1 seed holds serve, so to speak. The Mustangs advance yet again. I'm not sure how many in a row they have won in Section 5 AA, but it's their streak's pretty impressive.
You know what? Also impressive. Look at the record: 21-6 overall, 10-3 in the conference for Coon Rapids. You know, they again, 2 years in a row, 21 wins, 2 years in a row for that squad. Coming into the season, they didn't know if they'd have quite the same team that they did the year before. Pretty nice season and pretty impressive, even though they lost in the section finals.
No question. Heidi Hanula, the lone win against the Mustangs, winning a second single 6-2, 6-3. Second and third doubles both go to a third set. McManus and Nelson lose in a tiebreak in that third set. Westford and Ream gave a good battle, losing 4-6, 5-7. And Maddie Georgie also playing her match close at fourth singles, but coming up on the losing end. Moving to the individual rounds, Carly Westra entered in the singles tournament, loses to Kelly from Champlin Park in the first round. Allie Bauer defeats Fredrickson from Fridley in the first round, but loses then to Merck from Blaine in the second round. For the doubles tournament, Brandenburg and Chen from Mounds View beat McManus Nagley. Hanula and Ream earn the number 2 seed. They win over Spring Lake Park 6-2, 6-4, over Rogers 6-2, 6-2. And then they enter the big bracket. There it is. Hanula and Ream all the way at the bottom of your screen. They beat the Rogers duo. They beat the team from Champlin Park. And then in the final, earlier this afternoon, Hanula and Ream winning in straight sets. And that's pretty exciting. The Spring Lake Park duo that they beat had actually knocked off the number 1 seeded duo, which I believe was from Champlin Park, in the quarterfinal round. So Hanula and Ream are on their way to the state tournament next week. For Heidi Hanula, her second straight trip to state in doubles.
Well, congratulations to them as well. Well earned, and an opportunity for them to try and pick up some hardware if possible.
Yeah, we will have highlights and full results of that event coming up next week on Sports Night. Volleyball team last week, when we were doing Sports Night on Monday night, they were hosting the Eagles from Totino Grace. The Cardinals lose in 3, 25-13, 25-8, 25-14. Jessica Hegg led the team with 7 kills, 2.5 blocks. Hannah Gonzalez, 6 kills, and another block and a half. It's a lot of blocks for the Cardinals, picking up 7 blocks in this contest. Tia Yost had 3 kills. Megan Wellner had 2 kills, 8 assists. Emily Boyan, 4 digs, and an ace. The Cardinals lose in 3.
Well, the Cardinals had no time to lick their wounds after the loss to Totino with another conference opponent that was new, paying a visit on Tuesday. Like the Eagles, Spring Lake Park is trying to make a name for themselves in their first year in the Northwest Suburban. The Panthers came in at 4-6 in the conference and fresh off a strong tournament performance at Centennial. Spring Lake Park scored the first 7 points of the opening set, but the Cards started to battle back. Nice setup to Hannah Gonzala on the left side. She gets it through for the block and to the floor for the point. Cardinals trying to dig out a big hole in the first, and they get some strong play up front at the net. Missy Schmitz finishes the point, and Coon Rapids able to get back within 4. But that's as close as it would get. Great defense and a quick turnaround this point by the Panthers. Pilar Onstead will get the kill, and Spring Lake Park goes on to win 25-15. The Cardinals forced the play from behind again in the second set. Good job on the point, though, setting up Jessica Hagen. She comes through big, no chance for a return. But again, the Panthers able to build an early lead, and they never trailed. Weird point here is they hustle to get this one across. The Cardinals can't handle it. Spring Lake Park takes a 2-0 lead with a 25-16 win. Cards come out strong in the third, and they're able to get the lead early for a change. Good defense in the middle as Schmitz comes up with a big block, but the lead is short-lived. Spring Lake Park takes the lead back at 5-4 and never trails as they finish off the sweep. Big power from Selena Berry in the middle. On this point, Panthers go on with a win, 25-17 in the final third set. It's the 10th conference loss of the season for the Cards and their 20th loss overall. You know, we were there, Joe, and you know, they were trying to keep it close, and they did at times. They were down, they came back, but they just couldn't hold that momentum. They couldn't get the runs that they needed, and couldn't get the victory.
Well, and Spring Lake Park able to get to big leads early
Yep.
in each of the first 2 sets, and it's tough to play any sport when you're behind, especially when you're behind early. Cardinals finished out the week hosting Centennial, or taking a trip to Centennial rather, on Thursday, and they lose 25-15, 25-13, 25-19. Jessica Haig with 10 kills, 4 digs. Hannah Gonzala 3 kills and 4 digs. Tina Yost had 9 assists to lead the team in that category. Missy Schmitz 2.5 blocks to go with her 2 digs. They wrap up the regular season schedule on Tuesday of this week, hosting a very tough Osseo Orioles team, and the Section 5 AA tournament will start a week from Tuesday, next Tuesday. And Howie?
We will be there. And they'll get the seating Sunday evening, so they'll know who they actually play on Sunday night.
And we will have that information for you next week on Sports Night. Swimming and diving team has the week off as they prepare for their final dual meet of the regular season. Last week, the Cardinals competed in their final dual meet of... I've got to explain this before I go any further because I was trying to change it on the fly. It used to be they had a Northwest Suburban Conference Championship where all the teams in Northwest Suburban got together in one pool. They all swam. They had champions because of that. This year now they have 14 teams in the conference. So what they've done is the postseason, the Northwest Suburban Conference Championship, is really the 2 divisions. You have East and West divisions, and they kind of match up, and they do a dual meet. So what they have coming up is a dual meet against Champlin Park. What they finished the regular season with was a dual meet against, what do you know, Champlin Park. And then on Saturday, just this past Saturday, they were in the pool for the Section 7 AA True Team meet. A little confusing.
A little bit.
Good. I'm not the only one. On Tuesday, the Cardinals hosting the Champlin Park Rebels, hoping to continue improving their times, maybe make it interesting against the Rebels. Rebels took an early lead with a 1-2 finish in the first event, but the Cardinals determined to keep them from running away with this one. Great race by Ariana Georgie in the 200 freestyle. Going to out-touch the girl next to her for second place, beating her by just over a 1/10 of a second. Up next, the 200 IM, and the Cardinals' junior leader leads the way. Lindsay Geezy sets the pace, winning in 2 minutes, 24.97 seconds, cruising in all by herself for the victory, about 4 seconds out of second place. Still, Champlin's lead continues to grow. Another great race in the 50 free. Sarah Dishinger. Watch as she closes at the end, but she's going to come up just short, about a 1/4 of a second out of first place, takes second in 28.08 seconds. Coon Rapids closes the gap with a 1-2 finish in diving and are back within 8 points after the 100 butterfly. Geezy again able to get out front and coast to victory. She finishes in 1 minute, 4.81 seconds. That was the Cardinals' last first place finish, and that was as close as the meet would get. Rebels win this one 102-79.
Yeah, you know, again, trying to get some of those finishes is that's what we've talked about all year long. You know, if you can get a first, but you want to get those second and thirds to try and earn points if possible.
Well, and I went back and forth trying to figure out exactly how they do this Northwest Suburban Conference Championship or playoff with Coach Sarah Valley. And one thing I was not able to get a hold of her. What I don't understand is, in the old format, they would take everybody, put them in the one pool,
right,
and they would have a massive Northwest Suburban Conference meet. This gave the opportunity to very strong swimmers from teams that aren't so strong an opportunity to go out and prove they're the best in the Northwest Suburban. That is, I think, what's missing with the new format, but I guess that's just the way it goes. The True Team section meet was held on Saturday, and the Cardinals come out in 7th place in the Section 7 AA event. Lindsay Geezy, 2nd place finish in the 100 fly, a 3rd place finish in the 500 free. Galadriel O'Grady taking 5th place in diving. Leah Perkins 9th in the 100 fly. And Ariana Georgie finished 13th in the 200 IM. So they will be at Champlin Park to face the Rebels again next Tuesday.
Yep.
And then they have a couple weeks off. The Section 7 AA championships will be held November 6th through the 8th.
Yeah, a little time to work on their times.
A little bit.
Yep. Well, the girls cross-country team will compete in the Dundee Invitational this week as the final tune-up before next week's section championships. Both boys and girls were in Elk River last Thursday for the Northwest Suburban Conference Championships. While many of the Cardinals on both squads put up their best times of the year, it wasn't enough to get them the finish they were hoping for. Well, you couldn't ask for a nicer weather day for this race in early October. The sun was shining. Temps were perfect for running a huge pack taking to the golf course for the girls, with 14 member schools are now competing in the conference title. A lot of red running in the lead pack for Coon Rapids and looking for a strong finish. Elise Weimhold is the first Cardinals to the finish line, taking 20th place in a time of 15.49, and just behind her is Brenna Del Castillo, making a final pass to take 26th. Rachel Davis will come across in 48th place. Caitlin Benson finished 55th, time of 16:30.1. And Michelle Onakaba right behind her in 55th. The Cardinals finished 10th as a team. Well, it's going to be a similar situation for the boys. The Cardinals in the middle of this huge field to start this one. 130 total runners jockeying for that good start. Freshman Paul Breitbach has been the Cardinals leader all season. He just tries to stay on the leader's heels for the whole race. He's going to finish with his best time of the year, taking 15th place in a time of 17:08.9. Nate Muggenberg coming up here could be the next Cardinal to the finish line. He's going to push hard at the end. He's going to secure 21st place overall. Now, there's more than a 30-second gap before Tanner Ost comes in. He will finish 54th in just under 18 minutes. And then Kyle Murhoff is at the back of that pack, taking 62nd. Joe Coughlin would be the 5th Coon Rapids finisher, taking 72nd place in a time of 18.14.9. As a team, the Cardinals are going to finish in 9th place, Joe.
Well, I tell you, at first I was kind of surprised at how low, especially the girls' team finished, and I thought maybe they had an off day. But then I went back and looked at their times throughout the year, and almost everybody putting up their best times of the season. So I guess just a tough field,
great competition,
and everybody just running fast. Girls have one last tune-up before the section championships. They're at the Dundee Invitational in Brooklyn Park on Tuesday. The Section 4 AA championships are next Thursday, and should anyone make it, and I believe there's a good chance, at least a handful
absolutely
will, the state championships will be on Saturday the 1st. Could this be the year that the girls team gets over the hump?
Let's hope so.
And gets at least that second place finish in the section after 5 years or 5 or 6 years. I can't remember what Coach Tim said it was. 5 or 6 years as third place in the sections, just one spot away. Hopefully this is the year they can get over the hump and head to the state tournament. Well, season over for the soccer teams in Coon Rapids after both boys and girls teams were eliminated in the section quarterfinals. Boys entered the tournament as the 8th seed, a team with nothing to lose, was hoping to be the surprise of the bracket. They traveled to Andover to take on top-seeded Huskies, a team that had narrowly beaten them during the regular season in a game the Cardinals thought they had controlled. It was the perfect set for an upset. Coon Rapids bringing the pressure early in the first. Gail Tomwood racing down the right wing, able to keep possession, and the shot is in close but just misses wide. I was hoping Howie had to read the script.
I was
Tom
practicing.
went again, using his speed to put pressure on the Huskies defense. Vidaste Shirambir is there with him to get the shot. Keeper makes the diving save and is able to keep the ball from going out the end line. Andover bringing pressure the other way. Armin Bobarik weaving through the defense. He gets tripped up by Beersford Jimmy. That means a PK for the home team. Alec Terwilliger will take it. He goes right, but McCormick makes an amazing save on the ball. Defense is there to clear away the rebound, and we're still scoreless. Huskies redeem themselves on the ensuing corner kick. The initial kick is deflected away, but it's sitting pretty for Austin Howe. He finds a hole in defense and gives Andover the 1-0 lead midway through the first. Huskies build off the momentum. Bobarik gains control and sends a great pass in behind the defense to Derek Aminga, and he just has to tap it home. All of a sudden, it's a 2-0 lead for the Huskies. This one far from over. The Cardinals answered quickly. Again, it's Ntambwe in. He is the catalyst. Controls and sends the cross out front. Evan Gibson settles it. Tony Cruckton finishes it. Just past diving keeper. It's back to a 2-1 game. Another set piece for Andover. Bobarik is going to go direct on the free kick. It's another diving save for McCormick. Able to get his fingers on it and keep his team in this one. Second half, Huskies just keeping the pressure at the Coon Rapids end. They try to cross in close, but McCormick comes out to take it away. Coon Rapids unable to get much possession at the other end in the second half. Another throw in deep at the Cardinals' end. Hector Coronado redirects it out front. It's off the crossbar and out of play. Huskies wouldn't need another. They hold on for the 2-1 win.
You know, they've played Andover tough twice this year. I believe both losses were 2-1.
Correct.
McCormick had a stellar game in net. Really kept them in that game.
Yes, he did.
They just couldn't get over the hump. But you got to like it. Good effort for that first game in the sections.
We were there for the first game against Andover, and talking to Coach Paco after the game, said, "Hey, you were right in that." He said, "Right in it." He felt that they had really dominated and outplayed the Huskies, in that they just weren't able to get the goals they needed, and that was kind of the problem with the Cardinals all season long. Counting this one, 6 one-goal losses.
That's tough.
Throughout the year, and in their losses, just not enough offense throughout the season for the Cardinals. But the Huskies, that would be their last win of the year. The top-seeded Huskies tripped up in the semifinals by number 4 Duluth East. The Greyhounds beating Andover 4-2 to advance to the championship. Championship being held on Tuesday this week. Centennial slipping past Blaine with a 2-1 win. Those two teams kick off for a trip to the state tournament on Tuesday.
Well, the prospects for the girls' team to advance, they were a little better, but it was clearly going to be a tough battle as they traveled to take on the Tornadoes in the first round. The Cardinals really came on strong the last few weeks of the season and were playing some of their best soccer. They played Anoka to a 1-1 tie in the first time around and expected another low-scoring battle would determine who moved on and whose season was over. This match was defined by its physical play. There were body slamming all over the field as both teams came out with a lot of intensity, and neither was going to give an inch in this do-or-die battle. Multiple collisions led to a few injuries and a lot of penalties being called. Anoka with a free kick from a good spot in the first. Caitlin Beckman goes for the lower right corner, but Fraser is able to get there, makes the save. The defense will clear it away. Cardinals with a chance off the free kick. Aaron Jenkins goes direct, and it's just too high as it clings off the crossbar. Coon Rapids tries to get it back out front, but unable to do so. Cardinals generating more good scoring opportunities in this one. Another good chance for Jenkins, but Pomero is able to leap and make the save. There's still no score. Just over 10 minutes left, Anoka catches the Cardinals sleeping on the free kick. Quick kick by Beckman beats Fraser to the far post, and the Tornadoes take a 1-0 lead. The Cardinals answer just a minute later with a gorgeous set piece, a corner kick by Jenkins coming up. Headed by Erickson, then another header by Misquick. Redirect. We're all tied again. Let's move to the second half. Anoka trying to put pressure on. The pass goes to Emma Stang. She puts the shot in from a perfect spot, just out of the reach of Fraser, and the Tornadoes storm back to lead 2-1. It was a nice shot, just a perfect placement. Cardinals would generate some opportunity to even the game again. Jenkins another free kick, but Palermo is there to make the save. Coon Rapids with the numbers on the rush. Blomquist feeds Miskowick. She's able to get behind the keeper, doesn't have the angle, and the shot hits the side of the net. Miskowick using her speed again nearly has the equalizer, able to get in close, but Pomero dives and just gets a finger on it to keep it out of the net. Nice save there. With time ticking away, the Cardinals keep the pressure up. Allie Erickson with a great chance in close, gets off the rocket, but again, Pomero is there, position able to make the save, and the team would hold on for the 2-1 lead. And Joe, that's another case where I think the Cardinals outplayed Anoka in this game. A couple of shots going into the net for the Tornadoes. Good goalkeeping by Anoka.
I was going to say, a hot keeper could take you a long way in the playoffs. Cardinals were not shy on opportunities to score that game. Palermo came up big, kept her team in it. I was surprised at how physical the game was. A couple of yellow cards, a couple of lots of penalties, lots of free kicks. Kind of a cheesy goal for Anoka on the first one, but hey, that's what you do. You see that team out of position, you catch them sleeping.
Got to.
And so, not necessarily the better team winning, but hey, Anoka, don't take anything away from them. The Tornadoes storming their way all the way to the championship, but the Blaine Bengals is going to be tough to beat. They have won their games 13-1 so far, beating Cambridge 7-0 and then Andover 6-1.
Pretty impressive.
They're rolling
as
the number 1 seed, and that game also on Tuesday night. So all we have left, Howie, is one regular season football game and then football and volleyball playoffs. There you see it.
There it is.
Football at Andover on Wednesday night, live at 7 o'clock, and then we're all tape delayed because we can't do playoff games.
This is correct.
Live, so we'll know for sure who both of those contests will be against next week on Sportsnight. We hope you will join us then. But you know, Howie, we've been doing this a long time.
We have.
There have been a lot of great milestones.
A lot of them.
In the time we have things that we have done here at CTN over the years. One just so happened to come up 10 years ago today. It was 10 years ago tonight.
This very night.
That one of our favorites, Mike Burlingame, this is part of the reason why he became a household name. It's a 10-year anniversary, one of the all-time. It was the shot heard round the world that
you have to kick it out of bounds. That's smart soccer.
That we'll never forget here at CTN.
This one's for you, MB.
Our cameraman just took the shot there, and he's down. Mike got it the other night.
Mike Burlingame not having a good week.
He got the
we kind of missed that one.
Lip during the volleyball game. Now he takes one hard.
He took that hard when he was trying to get that.
I didn't realize
shot,
we were in replay when it happened.
He's going to still be in the game, but he's going to take a little break. Bringing his camera right over to the table and saying, "I got to adjust the lens a little bit." Oh my!
There's the first foul of the game.
Here it comes. It's in there. There he goes down.
Oh, there you see him going down.
Straight up in the air, down.
The best is the look on his face when they get a close-up on his face. The best is the look as he's turning over like, oh my God, not again.
Camera angle. This one's a little closer.
And as you heard it,
I'll tell you what.
There he is.
Heard us talking about just earlier that week. Mike had taken a right cross from.
Here's a better look at it right here. It was in a volleyball. It was in a volleyball match. I remember who the player was. Do you remember who the player was for Coon Rapids?
Ashley Chambliss.
Kind of.
And I thought it was.
There it is. Took an uppercut at the ball.
We got it right here.
Right here.
Pop.
Boom.
Pop. Oh, it's Burlingame week on CTN.
See the little birds floating across, going across the top of his head. Bam.
Well, the ball hits him in the head, and she hits him underneath. Oh, there's more Burlingame. He just can't keep out of the way.
There he
is. I got that touchdown.
Yep.
Oh, this is from his angle.
It's from his angle. Oh.
Oh, we've got all kinds of Burlingame.
Oh yeah, he's well known.
But tonight was the 10-year anniversary of the soccer shot.
There he goes, up and over. Oh, poor Mike. I think that was the year that that Blair Townsend was the quarterback for the Cardinals and Peterson was the quarterback for Blaine. Both two very highly ranked kids coming out of from football. But there's Burlingame getting the wits about him. There's the top of his shoe, I think.
Who else would have gotten in the way but Mike Burlingame?
Exactly. Take one for the team, fantastic. Burlingame.
Mike
There he is.
Burlingame, this 10th career game he's been hitting.
Yep.
Well, this show is dedicated to Mike Burlingame.
That's why they put him inside the
sure.
truck. Can't get hurt in the truck, hopefully.
Well, right. That's going to do it for this edition of Sports. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us. Continue to support everything we do here at CTN for the entire crew, including the one and only Mike Burlingame and my sidekick, Howie Shapiro. I'm Joe Young, saying goodnight.